Dribbling crap. Like, yeah. Wait, don't look at me like that, Jason. No. Alright, so tonight... Alright, so Jason's filling in tonight, which is not Barnes, but it's Molek, who's another mate of mine, because Barnes and Damo and Mitch, the other camera guys, couldn't make it here, so it's a bit of a conundrum thingy majiggy.
There's too many Jasons around.
So what episode is it?
129.
129.
Yeah,
There you go.
129, the best one, isn't it?
So tonight, that's it, yeah. The best one,
Yeah,
129.
129, it's a milestone.
Yeah. So we got Jake Stone on, Mr. Stone Unknown. Yeah, I'll just turn the music down a bit. So, you're a DJ.
Yeah.
You're an international DJ, international travel DJ.
Thanks for that. Yeah.
Yeah,
really
you played
cool.
quite a few big gigs by the looks of it, like after the stuff you sent me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
it looks pretty cool.
No, I know it's weird. Like, what's big, right? Like the perception of, I guess.
Well, like when you're standing there and you got like a festival in front of you.
Yeah.
That's cool.
No,
Like,
definitely. But I guess like the ceiling always raises, right? You play something you think is big, and then the next thing is big. Like when I started, playing to anyone was big, and then now playing to 20,000 people is big.
No, okay.
And then like, but then after that's like playing to more than that would be big. But yeah, definitely. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, how did you get into it all? Because like you said, you've been doing it for 16 years, and you've also been a nurse for how long? Like
11 years.
11 years.
Yeah.
And so like, because you said like like we'll get into it, but you said like you went to like South Africa, and then like you were nursing over there, but then you're picking up gigs on the side. So
Yes.
how did you get into music and the whole lot? And then what made you? Because like you did 16 years of DJing, so it's a good 5 years. Oh, Yeah, 5 years. Sorry, my maths. But then you decided to go into nursing after. Like,
Yeah, it's been weird. So actually, like, it kind of went the other way. So
if it's all right, could you?
yeah, come close.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Kind of went the other way. So I started DJing when I was 15, 16.
Holy shit.
And I was at school. Yeah, like I didn't mean to. It kind of happened really weird, strangely, but essentially, I was listening to like electronic music like Tiesto and I guess like Fat Man Scoop or whatever he did was at the time.
Yeah.
And I was at like school, and I was like the strange kid that listened to electronic music. Like, I didn't really have any friends who listened to the same music as me.
Really? Surely it'd be
I went to
booming,
private school, man.
Yeah.
I don't think electronic music existed in the Golden Triangle at that point. But like, this was like 2005, and like I remember essentially like sitting on a bus and someone being like, "Oh, you listen to that doof doof music." I don't know if I'm allowed to swear on this, but
Yeah,
like,
you can go.
yeah,
go
like,
for
oh, you
gold,
listen to that doof doof shit, and I was like, "Is it shit?" Like, and honestly, I was listening to like, I used to listen to like old beatboxing stuff. Like, not don't ask me, I can't do it, but that's what got me into it. I used to love watching like there's like this guy called like Shlomo, and there's obviously Razel, which is like one of the first CDs ever bought.
I think I've heard of Shlomo before.
Yeah, right.
Can you try and pull him up?
I don't know. It's like really old school. They kept this
How
up.
do
I
you spell Shlomo?
think it was like SCHL, just LOMO. If you spell it wrong, it might pull something else up.
Yeah,
But,
yeah, that's it, yeah.
Oh boy.
there was like this guy called Killer Keller and this guy called Kenny Muhammad, and like
Okay.
I don't know. Weirdly, I really like delved into that world of just like watching these like online battles, and that was when it was like right click create WAV, right click record
Yeah.
on like a Windows. So I was like watching all these videos, and then like breakdancing.
Oh, this is him
stuff.
here. Yeah, breakdancing as well.
Yeah, it could be that guy. Maybe it could be the other guy was like I think the best like.
There are a lot of results for Shlomo.
Yeah, I feel like it might be a more common name than I expected. But yeah, essentially like that's what got me interested like in electronic music. And then I guess my uncle was like a lot of my family's in the UK, and my uncle sent me this like seriously cool EJ music creator, which I think was just like a Nutrigrain CD essentially.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like back in the day. Yeah, like a freebie. Yeah, and
And so you could make music on that. Like,
yeah, it was like essentially they just give you loops and you just mess around with it. But then I downloaded Virtual DJ, which I feel like a lot of
everyone starts on that.
I know
like-
because it's free, right?
Yeah,
like
that's it. Even I started
It's a
on that,
gateway.
like-
It's the gateway to DJ. But
Yeah.
I downloaded Virtual DJ and then really weirdly, I was at this like barbecue with some friends, or like a gathering, and I've been listening to like the music. I remember riding my bike there, listening to music, and there was like these 2 or 3 guys there, and I remember being like in a bedroom, and it was like me and my like one of my friends who I would say was like my sister at the time, like, and then this other guy, and he was playing like electronic music through, I think it was like a not like an aux, like a CD, like a Walkman plugged into a CD player essentially.
Oh,
Whatever.
really?
Anyway, whatever. it was.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, someone else listens to this music apart from me. And there's also, I was listening to DJ Rectangle at the time, which is like a hip hop turntablist DJ.
Never
like
heard
really,
of him either. That's
yeah,
pretty
really
cool,
old
though.
school. Yeah. If you Google him, I'd be interested to see what he's doing. But he used to make these really cool mixtapes.
DJ Rectangle?
DJ Rectangle. Yeah. And so, yeah, essentially met the guy, had a similar interest in me, and we just clicked straight away. He went to Shenton, I went to Christchurch. So we came from like similar areas. He lived in Claremont. We hung out, and then he did a house party in his garage, which would have been like a little bit bigger than this. And it was like, they charged $5 entry, I think. And this was
For
like
a house
like
party?
130, 100 something, 50 kids turn up.
Holy shit.
This house party. We've got this like room like this full of smoke, like some really cheap lights,
Yeah.
and some really like these massive 15-inch like speakers. And yeah, man, like we just had this party, and then they were like, "Do you want a DJ? Because you're the only one in the crew who can like mix songs without pressing auto mix on Virtual DJ." So I actually,
Really?
yeah. So that was like how I became the DJ.
Yeah.
And so like 3 or 4 parties. We did something like Lake Beach Surf Club. We did like Leadville Skate Park. We did like a white party there.
A white party? What, so everyone had to dress in white?
I think the first picture I sent you was like the white party.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then
See if you can pull that up.
I sent it to you in that chat, but yeah, it's a picture like wearing white, and so we did those parties.
No. So the white party on the Facebook.
In the Facebook chat I sent to Alex,
yeah,
there was
yeah.
a picture of me at the white party, which I randomly, I think, screenshot. If you go back in time, I know I spammed you with a bit of stuff.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's
So
content.
The
It's great.
crew was called the Bass Brothers, essentially, and we all wore these fluoro jumpers, and everyone knew us about these, like, because we go to parties and everyone's like, "Oh, there's these guys wearing the fluoro junglist jumpers." No, that's pretty new. I'm definitely a lot older there.
Yeah, he's not.
If you go down,
He's not 16, 17
yeah.
there.
down a bit. The Bass Brothers. That's the sim. That's our logo from when we were like 15.
That's awesome.
Yeah, sick. Yeah,
Yeah, that's not bad at all.
But yeah, like, and also like there was 3 of us. Like, well, 4 of us. There was Pete, Subby, Luke, and well, there's 2 Lukes at the time. Then I joined, and then like we were like inseparable. Like so Pete is now doing this thing called the Liberators, which is like I guess like a social movement about happiness and connection and stuff. It's not like, to be honest, it's like I'm really happy for him. It's not really my thing. It makes me quite uncomfortable. So
Yeah.
I didn't get too involved in it, but like he's doing really well. Subby was like our roadie. He like bought our lights. He carried stuff with us, and he's just been around like, and he's a like legendary bloke. And like actually going full circle, I played Oktoberfest a couple of years ago, and he was like doing security on the stage, and I was like, oh my god, there's a guy I started DJing with, like,
No way.
which is wicked. So
And so like with the Bass Brothers then, so like how long were you doing that for? Like how many parties? And like, how old were you guys
I was
again?
like 15. So we're doing like house parties. So we're doing like, my first gig ever was like rowing afters for Christchurch. And this guy like Nick, we call him Dolphin's backyard. And it was like, I remember the first song I ever played was like Adagio for strings, Tiesto. As the bus rocked up. Yeah, banger. Like the bus rocked up, everyone walks in, the lights are off. I play Adagio for strings. I mix the first song in, probably terribly. I then go to play another song, and someone like throws a beer can, and I had these like things called Newmark Axis 9s, and they actually had a CD tray that came out.
Really? Can you Google them? Newmark Axis 9s.
Yeah. That old school, man. Like
the old CDJ.
CDJ, but like CDJ with a CD tray. Like that should have been their line. Like CDJ with a CD tray. Like, Newmark Axis 9. It is not a pair of pliers.
Yeah.
Newmark, N-U-M-A-R-K. Newmark.
And you looked up...
Newmark.
Yeah, Newmark. Yeah, no wonder it came up with pliers.
Yeah, Newmark Axis. No, A-X-I-S. Yeah, that's it. Holy moly.
Really?
Dude.
How big is that? So it's like that.
They're like about this big, but someone held a can of beer as a CD tray came out and just snapped the tray like clean off.
Oh, no shit.
This is like, I saved all my pocket money to buy these things. It was my first gig. I was so proud of it. I used to hang out at like the DJ stores, DJ Factory. I think it was extended play in Mosman Park.
Yeah.
Like, you spent all my time. I was probably that annoying kid. There's some DJs there called like Bangers and Mash or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like really like a long time ago. Yeah, I played my first gig. Someone snapped the tray off my CDJ. I was like,
did you get it repaired or
just like stuck it back in and it worked? Yeah, like
very nice.
Yeah. So that was like, introduction. And then I think I really like cut my teeth just doing house parties. Like, there's nothing more like humbling or brutal than doing a house party. It's like mum and dad are yelling at you because it's too loud. The neighbors are getting annoyed. The police turn up. You've got like 80 to 100 and 300 kids turn up.
Yeah.
There's like no crowd control. People are drinking, doing whatever they do.
Yeah.
And I like didn't drink because I was under 18 and I was like very careful not to drink. I was
just in case. Yeah.
I was just scared. I was just like I was scared to get in trouble essentially as a kid. And like,
but you wanted to be the party starter though.
I just loved the music. I actually didn't even really want to be the party starter. I just really loved the music, and I guess I was just the only one because I was different that was doing it. But like,
that's really good though, because it's like you just want to play music to people and get them dancing, having a good time. Like,
it's interesting. Like, on reflection, like at the time, I was like, this is such a byline, but I was like fencing for Australia.
Really?
Yeah. So I was like professionally fencing.
So you sent a photo of that as well?
That's it.
Yeah, because when I was younger, I actually used to do fencing at UWA.
That's where I used to do fencing. Man. I was there for like 15 years.
Really? Yeah, because I did it when I was like 16, 17 or something like that.
Right.
I'm 29 now, but...
Right. Wow,
like,
so I would have been there, man. Like, yeah,
maybe.
probably.
We probably bumped into each other because I loved it. Because I lived in Busso.
Yeah.
So my parents would actually drive us, because I didn't get into any sports or anything. They drove us from Busso to Perth.
Yeah.
Just to go do this, but...
Yeah, so I was like fencing and playing lacrosse and DJing. That's like my thing. And it's like really random stuff. And I guess that's why I probably found a little bit hard fitting in at school, because it wasn't like part of the surfy crowd. I wasn't part of the skatey crowd.
Yeah.
I like didn't play soccer with the nerds, I wasn't like Asian, which was probably 50% of my year.
No, really?
And they had their own little cliques and crews, which is like just the way it is. And so I found it really hard. I was like floating between friend groups.
Yeah.
I think at the end I kind of came on top. I was lucky I kind of made friends in all groups, but I never like had one really like that was my only group.
Yeah. But still, like, it's pretty cool though, because you did sports and you did all this and you did that, and then also you had the music on the side doing the house parties.
Yeah,
so, like, you were out there. You weren't staying in your room doing.
Not at all, man. I was super busy. I used to I remember I have memories. I don't know if they're fond or not, but it's like waking up, training before school, going to school, studying at lunchtime or training at lunchtime because I was too busy, and then training two sports after school, and then like trying to fit in a gig if I could at a house party, like on a weekend. But
so how many house parties did you do? Like,
I don't know, man. It's so weird. Like I remember it was like we get paid like $200 or $300 to do like a house party in someone's garage or like a 16th or 18th or whatever. I remember being shit scared of doing like 21st because I was so young.
Yeah. I don't blame you, to be honest. Like,
Yeah, man. It's like when you're 16, 17, like 21st, like they're so old. Like I would never do anything over the top of that. But all I wanted to do was like play in a club, but I was like too young and I never went out underage.
Yeah.
I saved myself till a week after I turned 18 to go to Armin van Buren at Metro City.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Damn, what a gig.
Yeah. And it was fire.
That would have been really good. Like your first introduction to clubbing and like
Yeah.
Armin van Buren.
Yeah,
like,
it was sick. And like, it's funny. Yeah, like I would say that whole moving between group things kind of never left me because like something that's a little bit random, but like I never have taken drugs, for example. So
Really?
like I've been DJing for this long and I've never intentionally taken drugs. There's a side story to that.
Okay, yeah.
I accidentally took drugs once, but that wasn't,
Yeah.
but essentially like for me, I was doing sport and I was getting drug tested at sport. And I was like, because I was doing like world championships and I was training I did the youth Olympics and I was wanting to train for the real Olympics. And so I couldn't take drugs. Like,
Yeah.
And
Couldn't
so
risk it, yeah.
no, and also I still enjoy. I thought if I got to the point of not enjoy it and I needed something more, then like maybe I would try that one day. But I still love it, so I have not really needed to.
Yeah,
so,
okay. And then so when you turn 18, after the first week of going to Armin van Buren, like, because you've played at clubs now and pubs and bars and everything, right?
Yeah.
How did you get your foot in the door and what was your first gig and what was it like?
So I was just thinking about that actually. Like, so I discovered like essentially I remember I played this gig at Fremantle Prison. I can't remember who organised it.
Holy shit, okay.
Yeah, it was weird. It's like in one of the blocks. It was sick. There's a photo. I think I sent you a photo of
I
it.
just held it up.
Oh, did you? Yeah, sick. That's the first gig I did. That's Nick. It's my first set of headphones. That's where I snapped my first set of CDJ.
Really?
Oh,
yeah.
headphones.
Yeah. Those?
Yeah.
They're like Sennheiser, probably HD1. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. They look
Absolute
like
classics.
They're like space age headphones.
Yeah.
Like, whenabouts was this? Like,
That's 2006. That's 2006.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's long.
Oh, 2005. That was the first gig. Yeah. As you can see, a vinyl advocate with my t-shirt on, being very cool.
Yeah. But so then how was the Fremantle Prison gig? That would have
dude,
been so
I remember being
eerie.
insane. I remember being insane, but it was so cool to be playing in such a unique place. Like,
Yeah.
I can't explain to you how weird it is. And what they did at one point was they killed all the lights and then had someone run across like the top level with just a torch. Everyone was like panicking. It was Halloween, that was right.
No
It was called
shit.
Midnight Massacre. It was sick.
No way.
But it was massive for me because I remember walking to a side room, and there was this DJ playing called Jay Nitrous.
Okay.
And he was like, his name's James Burchett. I think he's like a top barman now or something. But he was playing In for the Kill Scream remix. And that was the first time I heard dubstep.
Yeah, like the La Rue exploding in for the kill.
La Rue,
Yeah.
La Rue, In for the Kill Scream
If only
remix.
we could play it, because that is a
Yeah,
classic.
that's it. That is the Midnight Massacre. That was it.
That's sick.
That's Pete. And those are our yellow jumpers I told you went to the parties in.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
It's so concrete. And just like, even that, like that
But
guy.
the acoustics were terrible, but the vibe was awesome.
yeah,
like,
that's it, yeah.
so yeah, I heard dubstep and I was like, what is this music? And afterwards I was like, I've never heard anything like this. Like, what is it? He's like, it's dubstep. So then like I was doing house parties, but then I was like really into dubstep and I started hanging out with like just this guy called Matt who was like working at, I think it's like the DJ Factory at, like, he ran a gig called Stepping Out. I did my first dubstep gig and I essentially like, that was when like I think I saw Keto. So it was like Keto, Recab. Keto was back in the old Shotgun days.
Okay, really?
Yeah. And I think she's still doing music now, actually. She's an epic song called UFO, I remember back in the day. So it was like Keto, Recab, Jay Nitrous, and like Matt was DJing. And so I used to go to like the old dubstep nights, and it was like
Classic dub, yeah.
yeah, it was like the original. It was like before even like Circus Records, which was a thing, which was like all your Flux Pavilions and your
Dr.
Trolley
P and-
Snatchers, your Dr.
yeah.
P's, right?
And
Like
Cookie Monster and
Cookie
all those,
Monster.
yeah.
Like, yeah, I've been lucky. Got to play with a lot of those guys.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, like, and those are people I idolize, but it was like the DMZ. It was like the Scream and Banger era. I was like lucky I got to meet banger when I went over to the UK. Like this old like dubstep sort of. Before it was like about like big. I guess it's always about big crowds, but it was like when dubstep was still like playing to 30 people at like the Bird. I used to love that. I had an MC called Jake, who's called Beckett.
Dubstep at the Bird.
Yeah, man, it was like the best. It was like so. Then it was sick. It was like the Deadweight Crew came in, but before them there was we used to do Velvet Lounge.
Yeah. Next to Scotto, yeah.
Yeah. And like I remember the Inhibit stuff back then, and with, like Jeff, and then like. Just those real old dubstep days. I'd have such good memories. It was like all I wanted to do was like play dubstep gigs, but I was like this private school boy in Christchurch,
diving into the
and
deep
then like
heavy,
they were like public school guys, and so we didn't have like a lot in common in terms of that, but like we just really loved the same music, and then I got to play at like the Rise.
Oh really? You got to play at Air nightclub back then, like
the original, the Rise. I got to play like with a guy called Ian, who was called DYP.
Yeah, okay.
And we used to host a radio station. A little while called Sub FM. We jumped.
Really, you hosted a radio station as well?
Well, like a show on the radio station. It was like me in my bedroom playing dubstep, but I freaking loved it.
But how did it hook up to the radio? Like,
dude, I don't even know because I feel like the internet probably just been like
just technology and cables and stuff.
Like
right?
I don't even know how we did that. It was like probably just an aux in to like a headphone jack.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
But yeah, like. Those are the dubstep days, and then that's when I was like got into Shape essentially. So that kind of opened up a whole world.
Back in the day. See, I never went to Shape. I got told so many stories about it.
It was just, I guess any club that closes, right? There's like a huge
like
nostalgia about it.
That's
but like
history. Yeah,
it was just a place for all of us who liked that sort of music. It was like, dubstep, drum and bass, like. We used to think there was Big Ape and the Switch.
Yeah, I remember hearing about Big Ape, yeah.
So Switch was a drum bass night, Big Ape was a dubstep night. I think I played like the 4th Big Ape gig.
Really?
I recorded the set. I remember I listened back to it a few weeks ago. I reckon I train wrecked the first 3 songs, but like I was just so nervous,
But that's it. As soon as you get up on stage, that's what happens sometimes. Because it's like a fresh crowd and you're like, oh shit, like, here we go. Like,
it's music I loved, but it was also went from the deep dubstep stuff to like the heavy dubstep stuff because that wouldn't fly in somewhere like that. This was old, like, it's like subsonic.
Yeah, and classic like Rusko and stuff, right?
Literally Rusko, like all that sort of stuff. So
and Casper and everything.
Yeah.
See, I used to love that stuff.
Man, that's it.
But it just changed, don't you reckon? Like dubstep has really changed these days because now it's like you got Basement's still doing basement kind of stuff. Well, no, not basement. Sorry, Filth.
Yeah, Filth.
Yeah, Filth is around, but like. It's kind of more noisy now, I reckon.
It's like the whole bro set thing. To be honest, man, like I have been lucky that I have never pigeonholed myself into one genre. Like so at this time I was pursuing dubstep. I was also playing house parties. So this is like Britney Spears, like trying to mix Britney into like Pendulum or like, and then at the same time, like, I'm playing dubstep gigs, which is like the subgenre of culture of music, which I really enjoyed. And so once again, I had these two strange groups that I was mixing in. And I was fencing and playing lacrosse, and and I was
keeping very busy.
And I was at uni, and I started doing I studied nursing, like, and I was so like it was this weird like I felt like my whole life was a subgenre.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, but it's good though because like you just didn't stop. You just kept going and doing everything. By the sounds of that, you didn't have breaks. But like you just kept going and going and going. But it's a good way to do it though, because like you keep busy, and then you don't know how things turn out. Like
I guess I just like too many things, and like and I'm one of those people that if I like something, I get like really into it.
Yeah,
like if I'm gonna do a sport, I'm gonna do it super well. If I'm gonna do music, I'm gonna like work super hard at it. But like don't get me wrong, like I wasn't doing heaps of gigs. I would do like one gig every 2 months.
Really?
Back in the dubstep. Yeah, because like first of all, there wasn't that many nights around. There would be like one every month or 2 months.
Because we were just talking about this before on the phone. Like
and then not only that, like you had to be hanging out with the crews to get into the gig.
That's it. It's all networking and knowing the right people.
Yeah,
right?
And I'm not saying all the crews take drugs, but I didn't take drugs, so I wasn't at after parties at 7 a.m.
Yeah.
I was like going to gigs and going home. Like,
yeah.
getting a kebab and going home because I just like that was just like wasn't what I was about.
But that's a good ritual though. Get a kebab and then bugger off home. You got to get the kebab though.
My arteries probably say otherwise. But
that's it. Yeah.
But yeah, like I guess like I'm not saying that they all did. I'm just saying that like people like going to clubs. you know, you're bonding over going out, and like, you know, I wasn't there. I'm sure a lot of them were there till 7 in the morning and weren't on drugs, but like, I just kind of wasn't in those circles. And like, also at the same time, I guess we all just bonded over the music, and that was like enough for me.
Well, it's a good thing though, because sometimes it can take hold. Like we had a Deviants on last week. No, a fortnight ago.
Yeah.
Gethin, he was telling me how like it literally grabbed hold of him, and he had to go to rehab and all sorts of stuff.
Oh, really? Yeah, that's heavy.
But then that's just like how some DJs are. Like, you know, like I've had friends in the past where they can't go on stage. Like he was booked to play at Capitol, couldn't go on stage unless he had a 6-pack of beer. And it's kind of like, dude, you'd be tanked by then.
I also went on at Capitol and almost threw up. I've been the closest I've ever thrown up at Capitol.
Really?
It was actually after an Oktoberfest. I was like, we used to do like a kick on after party there, and then I would like headline at Capitol.
Yeah.
Because of Anton, who's such a legend, such a good bloke.
That's it.
Every time I see that guy, I'm like,
you
don't know who Anton Maz is. He's just one of those guys that's been around forever.
Yeah.
And he's just like so happy and passionate to help everyone. Like, he's such a good person. He's very political online.
Yeah.
I'm
glad you got that out.
Yeah. No, he's such a lovely bloke, honestly. Like, and I remember being so nervous for my first headline, and
I'm not surprised.
And I walked up there and was like, I think I'm going to throw up in front of all these people.
Well, if it makes you feel better, right? Alice in Wonderland, because I got told I used to hang out with Death Disco all the time.
Yeah.
Right? Alice in Wonderland, one of her first gigs when she actually went on Australian tour, she puked up in the ice bucket.
Yeah.
So she was on stage, was like anxious, butterflies, the whole lot, and literally yacked in her ice bucket.
Yeah, I just remember like all my adrenaline dumping as soon as I walked up there and being like, shit, all these people are here.
Yeah,
like,
they're ready to dance and party.
And they're here because like they're here anyway, but I'm also the person they might be here to see.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of pressure. Like,
yeah, that's it. Yeah. But
So,
do you like, you kind of get to the stage now where it's like just got to go up, have fun, and do it right? Because no matter what, you always get butterflies or anxiety or this or that. Everyone does.
Yeah, I remember like I never drank before. I was always like, I'm never going to drink before my DJ set.
Really?
Like, yeah, because
It's a good way to do it though, because then you're sober, you're thinking straight. And
yeah, but then I was like paralyzed by being so nervous at the same time. So one of my mates was like, I remember this Big Ape, and they were like, essentially like, just have 2 beers before you start. And then you'll relax, and I was like, oh, I can't. But it did kind of turn a point for me because I was like super nervous and then a bit nerdy, and like I just
Well, sometimes it can tip you over the edge. Like I've had that happen before, where like I've had a few drinks and I'm like, oh shit, I have to get play now. Oh my god, there's people there. Oh god.
Yeah. I'd say like now, like I'm definitely I definitely get nervous for like bigger gigs, but I'd say like the lead up isn't so stressful. I think
it's just practice, and it's like from doing it for so long as well. Then it's like, you know, just go up and do it, have fun. Because like, you know, playing in front of Oktoberfest, like that would be scary as all hell, but it'd be so much fun. You come off stage, right, and you'd be like, oh my god, whoa!
Like I'll never forget like, this is skipping forward heaps, but like playing in Sydney, and it's like 20,000 people, and you're standing there and you're like, oh my god. Like, and the other thing that's weird though is like, I could play to 10 people and feel this awesome connection, but you play to 20,000 people, I can barely see anyone's face because it's like the adrenaline, and there's just always lights and there's things, and just so many people. Like, who do you pick to look at?
Did you send a video of the Oktoberfest at all?
Yeah, I think I sent you
can we pull that up? So you played Oktoberfest in Sydney for 20,000, or
I think it was 20,000 people. That was like 2018 or 2019.
that's just crazy.
Keep going.
No, there should be more.
There's,
I just don't think I pulled them up. But yeah, no, that's like, it would have been so much fun though.
yeah, dude. Like, I mean, that's like, I love it. Like, it's
Right, keep looking, though.
such a good vibe. That's all right, man. All good. But yeah, like I'd say, I don't know how to describe it. It's like you're nervous, but you're like so excited because it's like when you're practicing in your bedroom, which I'm sure every bedroom DJ does this, and even I do when I'm practicing. You're like visualizing how the crowd's going to be when you play a song.
That's exactly it.
You find a sick mix, or you do a wicked double drop, or you make a cool edit, and it's like that's what you're picturing is going to happen. And then when you're there, you're like, holy shit, like, this is actually happening? Like, because of me?
Yeah.
Like, I didn't even make the song, playing someone else's song, but it's still sick. Like, yeah.
So like backtracking a little bit. So like after doing the house parties and playing Rise and Big Ape and stuff like that, like what happened after that? Because Rise was like, when did that shut? Like 2010 or something like that?
Well, maybe even before, man.
It should be in one of the Dropbox.
I think
links,
it's
I'm pretty sure.
Cold turkey phone.
Yeah, it could be.
Because you send a Dropbox links up the top. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
Oh, the press pack?
yeah, it must be in there as well. But
Yeah, it might be in there. Yeah.
That's so good. So essentially, like, yeah, I just pretty much grinded for years, like playing heaps of house parties and then events. And then my goal as a DJ was always, I just really, oh yeah, this is it. Holy moly.
Yeah. So this is in Sydney.
This is in Sydney, yeah. This is like the biggest one.
What the hell?
We might have to mute the audio, as we might get copyrighted.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that. I can just do it. Ba, 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 ba.
Holy shit!
Yeah, right? Like, what a rush, eh?
Yeah.
That was in Sydney, hey. Like, and Perth, I'm telling you, is like pretty much the same. I mean, as far as the lights go, it's pretty much the same what Perth looks like. You know,
Yeah.
because that just keeps going back. But, like,
How did you land a gig like that? Like,
dude, do you know what? Like, obviously, I'm going to have to shout out Shan. Like, you know, I did my first year did the silent disco, and then the next year did the silent disco, and then the next year he like gave me a slot in the main stage because he was helping them with the bookings, and then it's just kind of like worked up from there. But like, you know, like I didn't turn up with my CD in my hand and go, "Hey, I'm a DJ. I want to play main stage at Oktoberfest."
Yeah.
It's like years of working with the guys, and like, you know, we get on really well, and like we have an awesome time when we're all together, and we look forward to seeing each other every year. Like, you know, there's the guys at like Dallas Royale who are the band.
Yeah.
And
I actually went to school with one of the guys
Oh,
from
really?
Dallas Royale, Talon, but
Yeah.
then he ended up leaving the band.
yeah,
for-
he's doing dubstep DJing. I think he's
Yeah.
playing filth and stuff.
Yeah,
but
that's exactly.
yeah,
it,
like, I mean, yeah, like, yeah, it's, I think there's a bit of a misconception that you can be an amazing DJ and just score gigs. It's still networking, like, you're still gonna have
Yeah.
friends and stuff.
But see, that's why I found it. It's like you got to be a nice person. You got to be a good human being in a way. Like,
Yeah.
because the nightlife can be so toxic. And like, you know, you did the right thing of getting your kebab and going home. But like,
Yeah.
when people stay up until 7 a.m. in the morning, right? And then
Yeah.
like, you know, they're basically delirious because they haven't slept. They're really, really drunk or hungover.
Don't get me wrong, I went to heaps of kick-ons. Like, you know, I've had some great kick-ons, like all like Ambar crew and obviously like the Devate crew, and then there was like all the Origin people, like some, you know, been to some great events with those guys. But like, I just like, I'm not the last one standing because
Yeah.
I like, and you know, I just, and also I guess I've always got something to get up that I really want to get up for the next day that I'm excited about. It's like,
Yeah.
it's not only just music.
Because like what I mean is like, from doing this, I've interviewed quite a few girls and stuff like that,
Yeah,
and the
cool.
girls have actually like broken it down at like how sexist the industry can be sometimes with certain events and this and that.
Yeah.
But it's just like there are people out there that just kind of look out for themselves.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, it's all about working as a team. Because we were talking about this on the phone where Perth is so small,
Yeah.
but there's so many events and
Yeah.
like clubs and things you can do, right?
Yeah.
But like when you compare it to like Melbourne or Sydney, you know, we've only got like, I think 9 major clubs, maybe.
Yeah.
And so like with that, it's like, you know, the work.
Well, I can't tell. They're closing and opening all the time. You know?
Yeah. But it's one of those things where it's like, you know, like unless you fit in with that niche group, then like how do
Yeah.
you get the work sometimes? And like
Yeah. I guess like the main thing is like, you know, I used to go to Amber every week just
Yeah.
to hang out. I think I played a total of 3 gigs there, and I went there for like 3 years.
But that's it. You still got that. That's
Yeah,
it.
but I worked hard. Like I really wanted to play at Amber. It was like my dream was to play at Amber and Breakfest, which I've never achieved. Breakfast.
Yeah.
Shout out Breakfast if you're booking. Yeah, like,
That's it.
yeah. You just DM them. But no, but like, you know, you have goals in your head, and for me, it was my first goal was to play a club, which ended up being downstairs at Shape.
Yeah.
I played like a electro night, a dubstep electro night, randomly.
Well, which would be amazing. But
Really weird.
yeah.
And then I think Jane Nitrous was playing, and then my first international support was a guy called Sook Knight, who's a dubstep DJ. Like that was like a long time ago. I think it was 2008.
Yeah, that's
And then
that's a long time ago.
yeah, dude, it makes me feel old when I say stuff like that. But like,
You're still young at heart.
yeah, man, it's so weird. Like, yeah, one thing about this industry is like I've noticed is as you keep going out and you're getting older, you're like people are just getting younger, but also you're like, now I'm that guy 2 years ago. I looked at the club going, why are you here? And then you're
Yeah.
like, should I be here? Like,
Yeah,
you know,
that's it.
but I feel like the DJing is like just getting better and better for me. Like, I always thought like I don't want to be a 30-year-old DJ, and now I'm like 33, and I'm like I don't want to be a 40-year-old DJ. But I must say, like in the last probably 3 or 4 years, like I've had the best time ever DJing, and
Yeah.
you know, it's not like it's also a job, and it's the most I've ever earned DJing as well. So I can actually worth it. Like before, you know, I was doing $300 for a house party, but split between 3 mates. We just did it because we loved it, like
That's it, yeah.
and I mean, do your free gigs and you do your cheap ones, but just because you love the music, and I still love it, but now it's like you have to work smarter, not harder. So it's like,
that's
if I'm going to be out every weekend or 3 weekends of the month, then I've got a girlfriend or a partner at home, and she doesn't get to see me. It's got to be worth it, right? Like, it's...
That's it, weighing it up and being like, well, I'm getting paid good money for it, and I get to do this and that.
Yeah.
Like, why not?
Yeah, like, I've actually moved into, like, the wedding industry, which is, like...
Really?
I mean, when I talk about this stuff, it's weird, because I strongly remember being like, I would never DJ a wedding. Absolutely not. I would not sell myself to do something like that.
Yeah.
That's like, just don't even DJ kind of thing. But it all starts... Yeah, I'll head over to that sec, but like that all starts with like your friends like, I'm getting married and I don't know any good DJs. Can you do it? You're like, I don't really want to, but sure, I'll do it. Twist my arm, and then you're like, oh, this is actually okay. And then more and more people come to you, and then as you play more and more gigs and more weddings, people are like, wow, you're a really good wedding DJ. Like, can you play at my wedding? And then you're like, oh wow, and then it pays well.
That's it.
And then you're like, well, it's like, I guess if you're like a professional, like if you're like a professional artist, like I'm just gonna pick the only one I probably know, which is like Picasso. I'm not saying I'm Picasso, but
yeah.
And then they go and paint this wall 6 colors because let's be honest, like weddings are versatile and interesting, but there's generally a safe bet around music with what people want.
Exactly. Yeah.
And expect at a wedding. It's like going to a drum and bass night, not hearing drum and bass.
Yeah. No way.
Yeah,
of
like,
course. Yeah.
It's like essentially like it becomes second nature. It's like you have the equipment and the skills. It's just you got to choose to put your mindset into doing that or not.
That's it. That's exactly it.
Yeah.
And that's where it's just like it's a different ballpark, but it's almost the same thing as well. Because like going playing a club or a pub or a bar, like at a wedding, I probably guarantee you're still going to play Lowrider by Flow, right? Like you'll get the dancey at the end of it, and then you don't know where the night.
Like, I wouldn't play Nutbush in a club, but like a wedding. But I will play Pony into Sandstorm, which is one of my classic edits. I'll play that everywhere. Like I'll play that at dubstep night. It's still 140, right?
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
How do you find yourself on the microphone though? Because that's what got me about weddings. Like I tried to give them a go, and then trying to MC, I'm like,
dude, I try and encourage people strongly to book their own MCs for 2 reasons.
Yeah,
it's way better for the audience because they know someone, and if they mess it up, it's still funny.
Yeah,
and also like, I don't love MCing. I actually don't mind it. I kind of enjoy it, but also it's not about me; it's about them. And
exactly. Yeah,
you got to be a bit careful. But I would say like the hardest gig you can do as a DJ is a wedding by far. Like
I agree.
The stakes, like. I would say DJing to 20,000 people at Oktoberfest is less stressful for me.
Well, they're all drunk and they're there to party and
you can play whatever and they're going to party.
That's it. Yeah, like, that's it.
At a wedding, it's like you get one opportunity. It's their one night. If you mess it up, they're never going to forget it.
That's it. Never ruin the girl's night.
Yeah,
it's
like
her special night. You cannot ruin it.
You're getting the bridesmaids. You're getting like. Actually, very rarely the groom. Let's be honest, and this is like a running joke. It's like it's the bride's wedding, and the groom is the +1, right?
Yeah,
so
that's it. Yeah. That's basically
I'm getting some nods from the audience. But like but also like what I really like about weddings now. I feel like we've jumped over heaps of stuff.
Oh yeah, no, we'll jump back though.
But like weddings have become less about like weddings are more about like, hey, we've just got married, let's party and have a good time. And I'm all about that. It's like it is a party. Like. The formal stuff is signing the documents and doing the ceremony.
That's it, yeah.
But the reception, like, it's supposed to be fun. So if you're so stressed about, like, what color knives and forks are, like, what is the point?
That's exactly it.
So, like, I get really cool couples, and it's like, yeah, we play, like, Shaggy It Wasn't Me. And, like, we play, like, the drum and bass remix by Lou, Down Under now goes off at a wedding. I'll play, like, Sandstorm. I'll play, like, Fisher Losing It. But then some weddings I get to play, like, I played a wedding a few weeks ago, which was sick. The couple were both DJs, drum and bass DJs, so I got to play, like, deep, dark, and dangerous drum and bass. Like,
really?
Real, like, underground, like, techie stuff. It was sick.
And that can, like, that weighs it up where it's like, actually, a lot of fun. Like, because when you go and do weddings and, like, they want the Shrek theme song, or you want this or that, and it's just, like, kind of like, at least it pays well.
Yeah, it's like, it's one of those things. And I think, like, I get satisfaction out of seeing, like, them have a really good time.
Exactly, yeah.
And plus, like, I haven't had really any go too bad. Like, I've had a really good run with weddings, and I'm only getting... This year, actually, I've never had more inquiries. I'm getting so many inquiries.
Do you have your own website for weddings and stuff?
Just my Stone Unknown one. There's a contact form there.
Okay.
Shout out if you want to get married.
That's it. This guy.
And you want to DJ... Yeah.
But so whilst he's looking that up, like, so let's backtrack a bit. So you did the Big 8, and then like
I
you
did
know
Switch and
Switch and the whole lot, and then like
Villa and Grizzled we did, and then like which was I did a couple of those. Then the Basement Crew came along, and Big Ape died pretty over about 4 weeks. That's what happens in music though, right? Like there'll be a real hype night that lasts for like 2 years, and then something else will come along and take that crowd.
That's exactly it. Yeah.
If it's going longer than that, which some nights do, that's amazing. Otherwise, it's kind of like expected. Basement came along,
And they just took off.
man, they killed it. And like Joel and Zach, like I still keeping on, like still see them and stuff.
Yeah.
Like
They literally, like, everyone was talking about it.
Bro, it
and
was-
tickets would sell out. I mean,
Man.
I think the ticket thing was like, you know, they'd only sell 50 tickets or something.
and
And
sell at Gilkinson's, man, the line out the door. And
yeah,
like,
that's it.
I
That's what
just-
just made it what it was.
and I
like-
went from, and yeah, it's like I was playing like opening sets there because I was playing deep dubstep. But then I started to get into the bro steppy stuff because
Yeah.
I like the circus stuff. And then pretty much like awesomely like managed to hang out with that crew and play really good support sets there. And then like steal the mic, run into the crowd and MC from the crowd,
Really?
from the back of the crowd. And like I would be there at the end because I loved it so much. It was so fun.
How old were you when you were doing basement gigs?
Probably like 23 or 4.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So you're
I
still
just-
quite young, though, yeah.
Yeah, I think I was 23. Yeah, I just come back. I've been living in Africa for a year. Like
Really?
in
We've
yeah,
got to talk about that as well, though.
Yeah.
There's a lot to talk about tonight.
yeah. Well, I mean, we can essentially I was nursing and I went and lived in Africa for a year when I was 22.
So, like, yeah, we'll get on. So,
Yeah.
did you, it wasn't volunteer, it was paid
No, it
work?
was
And, like,
paid, yeah.
and how did you hook that up? Because, like, just to go, like, you know, from Perth being like, I'm going to go live in, you know, a different country in Africa
Yeah.
out of everywhere. Like,
Essentially like it's this weird connection, but like my dad had a friend who worked for the health department, and my dad was working in Africa on some projects, and I essentially wanted to go and work as a nurse there. But I did it through the health department. So I went there, we set up an emergency nursing course about deteriorating patients, and I lived there for a year teaching this course, and then not for the whole year, for a few months, and then that course finished, and then I went to live in Uganda, just
really?
really randomly, like
Yeah, Uganda around of
Yeah.
all places. Can you Google Uganda? Yeah.
I lived in like
Nice.
this, pretty much a village called, Ginger. Yeah, it was not a village. There's a town called Ginger, but there's a lot of village. And I lived like, you know, in a house with a really, really nice family. Like they pretty much took me as their own. And like, I still have like, probably the highlight. Well, I mean, the highlight of my life is probably yet to come, but like a highlight of my life was living in Africa. I had such a good time. And I met some really cool people. And then I got to DJ some awesome events. So like, I did a little tour of Zanzibar.
That's so
Did some
cool.
beach parties. Just,
Beach parties in
Yes.
Africa.
It was sick, man. Like, there's just, I can't tell you how good that was.
And
Like,
they would have partied hard, right? They would have really
it was just
partied.
fun, man. People traveling. Zanzibar's amazing. And like, they were just stoked. And I was just young and passionate about music. And I just met a crowd that liked the same stuff. And like, this is a step forward though. But so essentially when I came back from Africa, like there's a long story behind Africa, but there's a few videos and stuff. I did some outreach, like nursing stuff, and
Yeah.
made friends with this kid. And I went back to try and find him,
Really?
which was just like epic.
That's so cool. Did you end up finding him?
Yeah, I think I sent you a video called Finding Fetty on there, which was like just a highlight of my life.
So tell us a story, quick, like a short story of what happened.
So
That's
it's-
cool
it's-
as shit.
It's really crazy, and obviously it's a sidetrack to DJing, but our crew that we worked with, it's called Finding Fetty. The crew that we worked with essentially set up, they purchased an ambulance in Australia, had 2 paramedics. They were living near us, and they were training staff to drive the ambulance
Okay.
from this village out to the hospital.
Yeah.
And yeah, like that's the village. And so we went out there this is going to sound silly, but we went out there to like paint this school, because as part of doing that, it was to bring the community in, because like all these people painting a school. It creates awareness about the program that we were doing. So they would come to the course and learn about the health stuff. And it works. Like they come in to do the health stuff. And there's that kid, Betty. And we went out there, and then this is this kid. We just
That's
kind
him there.
of, I don't know, just kind of like made friends with this kid. And anyway, we stayed there that night. And in the middle of the night, there's a knock on the door. And we thought someone was, essentially, we were supposed to go back into town, but it was an hour's drive. And I wanted to paint late and get up early and keep painting to finish this project because we were running behind.
Yeah.
And crazy, but like essentially we're in this health center with just a locked gate. It was like pretty much just nothing. Someone knocked at the door at midnight. I thought, oh man, like we're getting broken into. There's no reception. it's like there's no electricity,
Yeah,
and I'm
something's
thinking
going
like
on.
something's wrong. Like, and luckily the two girls I was with were like, oh, we're gonna stay too. If you're gonna stay, we'll stay with you. Because I was like, no, I don't want you to stay. I'll just stay by myself. It's fine. And, like, you're young girls and we're in the middle of literally nowhere in Africa.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, crazy story, but essentially in the middle of the night, someone knocked on the door. I thought they would break in. Then they knocked on the door. Then I went down the end of the hallway and there was a lady lying on the bed, like, and they're like, oh, Jacobo, like, this lady's giving birth. Like, can you help us? And I was like, fuck no. Like, yeah, like, they're like, oh, you're a nurse. And yeah, I'm like, yeah, but I'm not a midwife. And I'm not
that's
a
it.
doctor.
Yeah, I don't know
like,
how to give birth. Like, you know,
yeah,
how to help that out.
yeah, how
like,
does that even work? Like, it's, anyway, obviously had some medical knowledge, but
yeah,
not around birthing.
that would have been hectic.
Yeah, we
like-
went back to bed. Essentially, they came and knocked on the door. Oh, we need you to come. And I was like, fuck off. Like, leave me alone. Anyway, yeah, like 5 a.m. this help deliver this baby.
Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
like, and then they called it Jacob, which is
yeah, very nice.
yeah. It's like, yeah, it's just this crazy situation I ended up in. And I, like, oh man, obviously we've been up all night. So it's
Yeah.
like 5 a.m. The sun's coming up, this baby's coming out, and they're like, it's baby Jacob, and I was like, fuck. There's a picture of me. I didn't send it to you with like my sock on its head because it's like a warmer. And
Really?
anyway, the story's a bit more involved than that, but yeah, it's this crazy situation. But you know, yeah, I met this kid essentially because he was like the son of one of the nurses that worked there.
Yeah.
And I came back to Australia, and then a couple of years later, I went back again and went to try and find that kid in the village, and then I went back again, and I made that video about finding him, which was
So you went back once and you didn't find him.
I went back. I think I went back and saw him. You can in that video you'll see there's like a progression of 3 photos. The first time I met him, the next time I met him, and the third time I
Okay,
went back to find him.
yeah.
But yeah, it's like such an epic. If you scroll to like the last probably minute,
And so yeah,
if you
how was
go
it seeing
back
him
a little
again?
bit, a little bit back. Wait, a little bit back. That's it, right there.
That's it.
Wait, yeah.
That's so cool though. That's so
If
heartwarming.
you go back 30 seconds, it's like the most epic thing. It'll bring tears to your eyes.
And that's so heartwarming.
Sorry,
though.
another 30. Yeah, a bit more.
Because like you know like
Sorry, man. Another minute. I don't know. Like, there.
That's all good.
More.
It's like halfway.
Back.
Wait, where am I going? Forward or back?
Back about another 30 seconds. It's worth the tear jerk. That's it. Okay, wait there.
Oh,
Now he's gone too far.
oh shit.
Anyway, as you're watching that, the tears come through. But anyway, anyway, it's just a crazy situation. But part of living there was like, yeah, I met some crew and they essentially hooked me up with some gigs. So I went around and traveled, DJ'd, and then like had this awesome experience.
Wait.
This is it, man. This is the
it?
moment.
Does he run
Wait
out and give
for
you
it.
a hug?
Oh, wait for it.
I bet you he runs out and gives you a big hug.
You guys don't have tissues in the studio, but you've really got kitchen rolls. So you're good.
Hey.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so heartwarming.
Yeah, I've been looking for this kid for, just couldn't find him. Just-
Yeah.
yeah.
And then you
And
found
now I
him.
feel super guilty because I haven't been back. Like,
Really?
yeah, it's,
Baby Jacob, if you're watching.
yeah. I don't even know how that kid's doing, but yeah, like, anyway, that's a
That's-
crazy time. But
Yeah.
I know it's a bit sidetracked from DJing, but that's
But
a
still,
big part of my life.
that's something I wanted to dive in anyway because it's like, you know, as a DJ, it's like you're playing to a crowd and you're playing music and like, you know, I always got told it's like try and make memorable experiences and like, you know, make sure that people walk out going they had a great time. But it's like as doing nursing and stuff like that, that's like caring and doing the right thing. Like
with this weird double life where I've like gone to work and like essentially gained karma points as a nurse and then like gone and DJed. Not that I've lost any, but I feel like it's still opposite end of the spectrum. But
yeah.
so like my goal in life was pretty much to travel and DJ, and so like I was lucky. Like I met Shan, and you know, then I went to Greece to EOS and DJed there, which is awesome, and then came back and it was like my goal is to like pretty much go and DJ. So I sold a lot of my stuff and was like I'm leaving, said bye to all my friends, and went and DJed in like Vietnam, which I put a picture on this like island. It's a 200-meter stretch of beach, and I would DJ every night from 8 till 2, and they would get me up at 7 a.m. So I'd be asleep at like 3 p.m. to get up at 7 a.m. And I lived, that's the island.
That's so cool.
And I lived that's the island. I lived in one of those huts, like pretty much on the floor. There was no beds.
Really?
So like,
But like you walk outside and you got paradise though.
it was sick. I mean, it was a hot box of like, you know, you live on a 200-meter stretch of beach with like 6 staff and like 80 to 120 new tourists every day.
Yeah.
So, but it was like really good because I was like DJing and DJing and DJing and DJing. It was like, I was tired and it was like hot and sandy and the gear wouldn't work and all sorts of stuff. That's where I slept, like literally on. There's no mattress on the floor down there. Anyway.
Yeah.
And then from there I went to Bali to DJ a couple gigs, and then I went back to Greece for a few months, and like and then from Greece I had such an awesome time. But I then went to Thailand to DJ in Koh Tao. So I actually went traveling for like 6 months, and I DJ'd every night for 5 months of that trip.
Every night
For 5 months. Which
Holy
was like,
shit.
the only nights I didn't DJ, that's Thailand where I was living. The only time I didn't DJ was when I was essentially traveling, and also my girlfriend who I met actually in Greece, one of the first years I went there in a bar. Like,
wait, you just DJing? She
No.
just saw it, it's like, I want that guy.
no, not. Do you know what? She's like, it's so funny. Like, that would probably be the biggest turn off for her. Like,
Yeah.
I was actually not DJing that night. It's funny because, yeah, it's, I don't know if you want to hear my love story, but
Yeah, no, go
how
on.
long have we got for the love story?
yeah. She's probably watching, so.
Yeah, she's probably.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that was my first year. That's Blake and Ash,
Yeah.
who's original Boston Switch. Obviously Shan, who got me in with that gig. And then I met essentially Ash, who was there. My partner was on a bar crawl, and her sister was dancing, and I don't know, talking to her, but she's like, oh my god, you should meet my sister, she's a midwife. And then I started talking to her, and Ash comes over, he's like, are you gonna talk to this girl, or are you gonna kiss her? And I was like panicking, because I was like, I don't know,
Yeah,
like,
oh god, like this pressure's
what
on.
do I do? And I look at her, like, and then I kissed her, and I was like, oh my god, you're a really good kisser. Don't you hate it when you kiss someone and they're not a good kisser? And then she looked at me like, motherfucker, how many people have you kissed? And I was like, no, it's not like that, I'm just super nervous. Anyway,
No.
that was great. So that's Escobar, another bar. So
And so how long have you guys been together now for?
6 years.
Yeah,
Plus-
that's
yes,
cute.
yeah.
That's really
Yeah,
cute.
so I went traveling to like DJ, and then essentially like I moved to Melbourne to live with her. So
Really?
yeah, like it was really good. The Melbourne thing was interesting.
Why? Like, how long were you in Melbourne for?
3 years, the first 2 years of the pandemic.
Okay. So this is really recent then.
So I was living. So the first year I was in Melbourne, I was living there, working at a hospital as a nurse,
Yeah.
and every second weekend for a whole year I was traveling DJing. So I'd just been in Vietnam, Bali, Greece, Thailand.
So were you just using your annual leave to be able to do this, or like?
So I quit and went traveling.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I think. I always like strongly believe that like if you want to do something, don't let like work or something else stop you from doing
Yeah,
it.
of
Like
course,
work
yeah.
will always be there. And like, when I went traveling DJing, honestly, I was pretty burnt out from work. I probably wasn't the greatest human, but like, and I probably had a bit of compassion fatigue, which is something it's hard to explain, but it's like if you go to work every day in a job, which is like about caring for sick children, and then it can be very, very high, intense, stressful situations, as you can imagine in an emergency department. So I've been working in emergency departments for 10 years.
No shit.
Yeah, so like you see, I mean, the best of the best and also the worst of the worst.
The worst, yeah.
And then after a while, you're like, wow, that thing used to really affect me, and now it doesn't affect me so much. You think like, shit, is something wrong with me? Because like,
But you just get used to it though. It's like
it's your normal day. Like it's your
Yeah.
day job is to like, if you see a kid with a broken arm, you're like, wow, how broken is it? Because like I've seen so many broken arms, and like that one's pretty cool. Like
Yeah.
which sounds really morbid, but like also if you aren't super positive and try and have fun and laugh about it, it goes the other way, which is super sad, which no one wants to go to work and feel like that. So
yeah. So
yeah.
I've been told the same thing as well, because like working up north, I work in emergency services,
Mm-hmm.
and so with that, like apparently it's when you see your first dead body,
yeah.
then it's like after that it gets easier, kind of thing.
Yeah, I couldn't even count how many dead bodies and dead children I've seen. So
Oh, really?
yeah. But it's like not a nice part of the job. It is,
But it's part of the job, exactly.
yeah. It wasn't really something that I was thinking was going to come up on. Like,
No,
it's
sorry.
fine. Like,
Yeah.
to be honest, it's the reality of life. Like,
It is, yeah.
and that's what it's like. And so, yeah, I mean, to be honest, like, music's been a really good balance to that, because it's such an intense work environment, and then I can just go and not worry about that.
Exactly,
And not think about
just-
it, and like
yeah.
just go and enjoy DJing.
Clear your mind and just go have fun.
And I'm not
basically.
out drinking and getting myself written off so I can run away from all these things that are happening in my life. It's like I'm going out to play music because I enjoy doing that, and it's positive. It's not like I'm like, writing myself off because I'm having some problems. It's never really been like that. So
That's a good way to do it. It's like split the boat, split it up instead of
Yeah.
like dragging problems from one job to the next.
Yeah.
It's just like
yeah, and it's
Yeah.
it's been interesting because like when people in my nursing job, like I must say that I stopped nursing the end of last year. but like,
Would you pick it back up though?
oh, absolutely, yeah,
Yeah.
I definitely miss it. It's like, I just got offered a different job. But
Yeah.
are we okay for? How are we going? Are we gonna keep going for a
Oh
bit?
yeah, no, we'll keep going.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sick.
I was gonna say we've probably got like what time is it? Sorry,
Almost 7:30.
7:30. Okay, we've probably got like 15, 20 minutes
cool,
left. Yeah.
man. No worries. Geez, I feel like I'm
No, it's all
too
good.
much, man.
No, to be honest, I want to get you back because it
Yeah.
sounds like you got so many stories. And
Yeah,
like, it's just like we're strapped for time, unfortunately.
Yeah, I feel like I didn't realize how much stuff I could share. But yeah, like,
Well, what are you doing tomorrow?
yeah.
We could do part 2.
We can do if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah. Well, let's do part 2 tomorrow if
yeah,
you
we
can.
could, yeah, I think so. Let me just think, but I'm saying yes now.
yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna say tentatively yes.
Okay. Yeah, I'm
Um,
down for that.
But yeah, like like it just kind of kept me on track, I guess. Like I used to do like I'd finish work at 9:30, I'd go and DJ 11 till 12 and be back at work at 7. And like because I just loved it so much, and then but like not often, and obviously I didn't write myself off because you can't go to work hungover.
That's it. Yeah.
You can't be.
You're a responsible
Yeah,
adult.
you have to be responsible.
Yeah.
So like,
especially in the healthcare system.
you have to manage yourself. But I've been, I guess, fortunate where I don't live off much sleep. I live off 5 hours easily.
Yeah,
Like,
you're lucky with that. Like, I gotta have 7 hours.
Yeah, I don't know if it's lucky or it's going to cut my life short, but yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, like, so it's always been a balance between like nursing and DJing.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I said, like my nursing friends, when they find out that I'm DJing, are always like so surprised. And then my DJing friends like, oh, you're a nurse? That's so weird. Like,
Yeah.
it's so different.
No, I know. That's the same thing with me going up north as well, to be honest. Like, I've gone up there and I try to just not tell anyone, but they're just like, so what do you do in hospitality? Because I just say, oh, I worked in hospitality for 10 years. No, what do you do? And I'm like, like I was a cook for a while, I was a bartender, and then, became a DJ.
Yeah.
And they're just like, what?
DJ,
Why are
that's
you-
so cool. You're
That's
like,
it.
is
Like,
it?
why are you here?
Yeah.
So I told them, like, it was quite funny. I told them I did the podcast and I,
Yeah.
go out and play it out and about and do this and do that. They're like, why are you up here? And I
Yeah.
was like, cause,
Yeah.
COVID stuffed everything up for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, like I said, I was living in Melbourne.
Yeah. Yeah.
So-
I want to talk about that. Yeah.
So it was really strange, but like, so I was working literally like at triage, which is when you first come into a hospital, like as they were releasing the COVID information. So it was like, oh, there's this was, remember 5G was a thing, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was 5G was happening. Or
Yeah.
not happening. Or whatever you believe, it's up to you.
Yeah.
It wasn't
that's
happening.
yeah.
It wasn't happening.
Yeah,
Anyway.
of course not.
Sorry. Is that controversial? Like,
Yeah.
anyway. Anyway, and then COVID hit, and then obviously day by day, every day we came to work, it just was like descending into like more and more chaos. I remember it was like, if you've been to Wuhan province in China, which is like super uncommon. Then it's like, if you've been to China, and there's like, if you've been to another random country, and then we had COVID in Australia, and it was like, and I was like, why are we even asking these questions anymore? It's COVID here now.
Yeah. It's,
Like, and then the Ruby Princess happened, whatever. But I remember as that happening, clubs like, because I was DJing in Melbourne and I was flying every second weekend. So I was like working 12-hour shifts, like usually Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 12-hour shift. And then on Friday, I would get on a plane, I would fly somewhere, Perth, Sydney, Tassie, to DJ, and fly back on like a Sunday night, and then go back to work on Monday
you're
or
just
Tuesday.
flat out. Like,
Man, I didn't realize how wrecked I was until COVID hit. Like,
Yeah.
because I had to stop.
yeah. And
not-
that's when
and I
it all
could-
hit you like a
And I
ton
couldn't,
of bricks.
and I
right?
didn't feel guilty about, because normally I'm like, you're always trying to chase gigs. And then I was like, well, I don't feel guilty because I can't chase anything. And then I felt shit because I had no gigs, like, and nothing to look forward to. And then the stress of work increases in the medical side. And then this enjoyment and outlet of music decreases. So,
Yeah.
and the other thing that was really hard was I remember COVID hit, everything started happening, started losing our gigs in Melbourne. And then they announced Oktoberfest, which for me was like my favorite event of the year.
Got cancelled, right?
And no, Oktoberfest was going ahead in Perth. I think, can't remember if they did go ahead or not. I think they were one of the. You were there. I think it was one of the only festivals that went ahead because they're freaking amazing guys. But like,
Were you
I
stuck in
remember-
lockdown or
it
something?
hurt me a lot because I saw all my friends, my crew, the festival I'd worked 4 or 5 years to get a good slot on,
Yeah.
or 3 or 4 at that time, go ahead, and I was stuck in Melbourne and I couldn't.
Because the lockdown went on for months, right?
Years, man. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
years. Like I actually left like probably 6 months before it started lifting from Melbourne, came back to Perth, but like it didn't. The club scene over there didn't recover for a year, 18. I would
Yeah.
say I don't
It
even,
just
and then it's obviously it rebounds. Like we had I know when I came back to WA, it's pumping. Like
that's
so
it.
many good events. Like so many, and the thing about COVID that's been good for the scene in Perth is that the local DJs, I think, have like everyone has got so good. Like there's so many awesome DJs now.
That's it. They just like focused everything on local talent basically, and it's really good.
You can have an event without an international act,
Exactly,
or a headliner,
and it still sells
and it's still
out.
sick. Like,
Yeah.
and there are so many bars and clubs now, and like I would say from before, like there are more opportunities for DJs than ever now. Like when I was younger, the opportunity to travel was not an option. Like
Yeah.
unless you're an agent or you're an artist,
Exactly.
you didn't really think about traveling as a DJ. It just wasn't going to happen. Like
That's it, yeah.
you wanted to be a Ministry of Sound DJ, that was never going to happen.
That's it.
But now, like, you know, you can, and I would say probably like, say my friend Shan, for example, his generation, they had, you know, we didn't have Facebook at school, and they get Facebook, and then all of a sudden there's traveling opportunities, and now there's crazy networking opportunities. People can travel, DJ, and so I've also, as part of like, not giving back intentionally, but you know, recognizing how hard it was and how much I wanted it at the start, was like, yeah, I started booking people to go DJ in Thailand and like booking people to go on DJ. Like now I was living in Broome last year and I booked DJs to go to DJ in Broome. And like Broome is such a sick.
Well, that's why I found it quite funny, because like scrolling back through the messages when I first contacted you, and I thought you asked, because you asked me to play Oktoberfest Silent Disco.
Yeah.
But then I read it and I was like, Melbourne? I'm like, what? And I was like,
Were you there?
no, I wasn't in Melbourne. I was in Perth. But then,
Dude, just come over. Like,
yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
I was looking at it, I was like, I could have flown to Melbourne and played at Oktoberfest in the Silent Disco.
Disco channel for Oktoberfest in the Gardens, Melbourne.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Wagwan.
So, that's it. So I kind of looked and was like, well, I had a gig on that night, but that was in, I thought that you meant in Perth.
Maybe I did. Maybe I was just tired. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, absolutely.
Because then, like, I would have eaten that up.
Yeah.
Like, if I would have looked back on that and actually had that weekend off, I would have been like, Melbourne, yes, please, gig over there. Oh
Dude, it's
my
funny,
God.
like, as I'm also conscious of the time, but
No, it's
like,
all good. Like, we will definitely continue this tomorrow,
Yeah,
100%.
yeah, sure.
What were you going to say, though?
I said the Melbourne thing is really interesting. Every DJ I think in Perth thinks that the Melbourne music scene and it's built into the culture is like epic, and it is really good. There are cool bars and clubs and stuff, but the life of a local DJ there is not like it is here. Like,
Yeah, I kind of got that vibe, to be honest.
we have it so good. Like, you know, I was really lucky. I met a guy called Salvi who's now passed away, and he got me into a place called Cloud9, which is just closed like last weekend.
Really?
On King Street. It's like an institution in Melbourne. That is where the like fuck yeah call has come from. I swear, it's kind of, and that's where like Melbourne, the home of Melbourne bounce essentially.
Yeah.
And like Melbourne music. Like, I was playing hip hop gigs there at like 3 a.m. for like not much money at all, but I just wanted to DJ so bad. And then from that, I met some really cool people, and I got a really nice group of friends. Through this guy called Kel, who runs sort of like what Shan does here in Streamline. God,
Yeah.
Shan's got a lot of talk tonight. He's gonna love this.
Yeah. Well, I want to get him back
Nah,
on. Shan, if you're watching, no, you sure?
No. Of course.
Well, even if I got you both on at the same time.
Oh, dude, it's so dangerous.
Would it be?
Yeah.
Because I want to do more panel stuff.
Yeah,
So
God, that'd be
that,
fun.
I reckon that would be quite funny.
Yeah, it'd be
Because if you
funny.
guys are good mates, we,
Yeah,
we can
absolutely.
get on the beers.
Yeah. Anyway, like, you know, you're going. I eventually got in with a really good crew. Like, I've got a really good group of friends here. I think most of my friends are now in music, I would say. But you're DJing like 1 to 3 hour sets, and definitely not for the same amount that's here because there are so many DJs there. So obviously the demand is, you know, price, supply and demand, economics. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, like it's just.
Well, see, like when originally a good friend of mine, he lives in Melbourne now. He actually told me, it's like, move to Melbourne, DJ in Melbourne, because you can make it big in Melbourne. But I said to him, it's like, I'm nobody here though. Like, I'm not anyone in Perth. So if I move to Melbourne, like, I'll start at the bottom of the rung.
Exactly
I'll
what
start
I
at the
mean.
bottom
I went
of
to
the
the
ladder.
bottom. I went to the bottom. I literally had gone from main stage. I've done that Sydney, October, all that sort of stuff, like really good events.
Yeah.
Going to Melbourne, literally had to start again. I was like at clubs till 4 a.m. just to make friends so I could play a 1 hour set, being like, please trust me, I can DJ. I know I'm a little bit older, but I'm not
There's
used
so
to this.
many people out there that
Yeah.
in Melbourne doing the same thing, right?
Yeah. And then, yeah, it was awesome. I ended up being a teacher for Your Shot, which is a DJ competition.
Yeah.
Met some really cool people through that.
We'll
and
definitely
then-
talk about that tomorrow as well.
Yeah.
Because
And
your
then-
shot's pretty cool, but at the same time, I've heard mixed stories. So,
Dude, so this is we can definitely go into that.
Yeah.
But I had very strong preconceived ideas about that Your Shot thing, and my first response when I was sort of asked was absolutely not. I would not do something like that.
yeah.
I mean, I did a Limelight DJ comp in Perth, but I would never do Your Shot. And then having spoken to the guys and being part of it, I can honestly tell you those guys are freaking legends. and they genuinely.
And so now you teach people
Yeah,
on your page?
yeah. That was it. That was a crew. I can tell you right now, they genuinely like really want everyone to succeed.
Really?
And
So that's your shot crew, do you mean?
that's where I was teaching your shot.
Oh, okay.
Actually, that guy kneeling in the front left is Scott, who's a drum bass DJ now back in Perth.
Okay.
Yeah. One of the guys there is I don't know the correct. He's a drag queen.
Okay,
Who goes DJing and really good.
Drag queen DJ?
Yeah, like really good.
You should hit him up and see if he wants to come on here.
He's in Melbourne though. Or maybe
damn
he's moved to Sydney. It's called Monogamies, I think he's DJ. He's super impressed. Like, best attitude and smashed it. Some of the girls doing really well. I still hear from some of the guys. Like, your shot was refreshing. You know, it was like
something different in a way.
And a passionate crew of people who show you new music every weekend that you haven't heard before as well.
That's really, it, yeah.
But I love that. Like, it was such a good experience. Like, I would highly recommend it to people who want to get into DJing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's wrap it up and continue it tomorrow, I reckon.
Yeah.
All right. So
if the beers are still there, then I'll come back.
The beers will be here.
Yeah.
You want to come down?
Yeah, I'll come down.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Let me just check with my managing director first.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Make sure it's okay.
Thursday. All right. Well, we will see you guys tomorrow, right? Because I want to keep this going.
Yeah.
Just we've got other plans. Like we've got something we can't get out of, unfortunately. So.
What, like beers with the boys? Yeah. No, that's fine, man. Of course.
Yeah.
God,
yeah.
That definitely takes priority. No, but I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on, man. Like,
yeah, dude, honestly, like you've got so many stories by the sounds of it, and that's why I want you to like tomorrow. Like, let's dive into this.
It's all
like,
me, isn't it? It's like,
well, that's why you're here.
yeah.
I would love to hear about how you got into nursing, why you chose nursing over anything else.
Yeah, I can tell you one line. I can tell you the story.
Yeah, I want to hear stories.
Yeah.
And like even how like that's so cool how you went back to South Africa to go and see what was his name? Fippe? Freddie?
Yeah, that's like one side story. But yeah, like
that's what I mean.
Yeah. I mean, that's a total deviation from.
But still,
DJing.
like I really want to dive into all of that though, because that's like, you know, I don't know if whoever's watching, like some people just like watch this and go, oh, he just interviews DJs.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like
DJs are honestly not that cool. Like,
yeah, okay,
Yeah.
No, you're pretty cool.
I've never thought that, but thank you. Yeah.
But it's one of those things where it's like, to be completely honest, like Perth is so isolated and so small, right? It's one of the smallest cities in the whole world, right? And so many cool people live here with amazing stories that they don't tell anyone. Yeah, they just tell their friends or their family. Like, I'll do a shout out to a guy called Davo. So he's a mate of mine, right? And so he started producing and he got signed to a record label. So I asked him, come on the podcast, right? He rocks up an hour early. We're getting on the beers. We're hanging out, right? And then he just drops this where I used to work at Cosmic Sound. And then working at Cosmic Sound, I really wanted to travel. And so a good mate of mine was like, hit up this booking manager and he'll sort you out. He went on tour with Simple Minds for like 5 years, 6 years.
That's naughty. That's
He went to 40 different countries as a roadie for their world tour. And so Simple Minds. Like, you know, don't you forget about me.
I also like, I mean, that's it though. It's like the opportunities open when you network, but also you generally are interested in, I guess, if you're interested in helping other people, that'll come back, and then you build this awesome network of good people that will help each other. And I think that's
it.
Like what we have here in Perth. I think right now, like people are talking about like the old days or comparing, say, Melbourne.
Yeah.
But genuinely, like, if you take a step back, like Perth is absolutely on fire right now. Like, we have so many
cool people, so many interesting stories, amazing adventures. It's like even talking about what you've done tonight, like, you know, like finding Freddie kind of thing. Like, you know, it's.
I feel like that was another life now, but like it's.
But that's it. Like it was a while ago, but that's so heartwarming. It's like you just walk out there and he's like, "Oh my God, Jake!" Or like helping a lady give birth. And you're like, no, I'm not a midwife. Like, leave me alone.
It's like, I don't know if I'm scarred from that or like proud of it. Like, honestly.
But it's like, here, have my sock though.
Like,
you know, and then call it Jake as well. It was
that's a little nice story on the side of DJ. But
that's it. Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
All right. So we'll see you tomorrow. Right.
I hope so.
Right, dude. Cheers to that.
Yeah. Thank you. Man.
Yeah. All right. So we will see you guys tomorrow. We'll probably run at maybe like 6:37 again.
We'll
pending
traffic.
Yeah, pending traffic.
Yeah.
We'll work it out. And then, Jay, Molek, run the credits. All right, we'll see you guys tomorrow. We got a wave as well.
Oh,
tomorrow.
Alex, you guys wave.
What? As a
Come on, we got to go.